Decades after his last solo #1 hit, there isn't a pop star on the planet who isn't, in some way, following a formula that Michael Jackson created. What if I told you that, from their sound to their stage presence, from their music videos to their business models, they're all just following the MJ blueprint? Before him, pop stardom was one thing. After him, it was everything, all at once. And the world he built is still the world we live in. In this video, we're not just going to suggest it, we're going to prove it. The architect of the total package. Every global superstar today is expected to be a total package. The voice, the moves, the look, and the brand. It's the undisputed formula for superstardom. But before Michael Jackson, a pop career could be built on just one of those. He made being a master of all of them the standard. Now, he didn't invent the idea of an artist having a strong image. Elvis had his hips, and James Brown was a master showman. But Jackson was the one who industrialized the concept on a planetary scale. He transformed what it meant to be a pop star from a musician into a global cultural event. It started in the crucible of the Motown machine with the Jackson 5. As a child prodigy, he was already a master of performance, learning from legends. But it was when he went solo that he began assembling the blueprint. The 1979 album Off the Wall, produced by Quincy Jones, was a masterpiece of disco and soul. It was his declaration of artistic independence. But then came Thriller. This wasn't just an album, it was a multimedia assault. It had the hits, the look, the mythology. Every single was an event. And with his next album, Bad, he embarked on a solo world tour that set a new benchmark, performing 123 concerts for 4.4 million people. While other massive tours had happened, the Bad Tour set Guinness World Records for gross revenue and attendance, cementing a new level of global domination for a single artist. Today, when you see Beyoncé command a stadium with flawless choreography and visual storytelling, you're seeing the blueprint. When you see Taylor Swift's Eras Tour become a cultural and economic juggernaut built on distinct visual eras, you're seeing the blueprint. They are not just singers, they are CEOs of their own multimedia empires. That business model was perfected and globalized by Michael Jackson. 2. The visual mastermind. Before 1983, a music video was, for the most part, a promotional tool. Ambitious clips certainly existed. Artists like David Bowie and Queen were already pushing the boundaries. But after 1983, a music video could be a film. It could be an event. It could be art. The difference was Michael Jackson. With Thriller, he didn't just make a music video. He created a nearly 14-minute short film. He hired film director John Landis, famous for An American Werewolf in London, to direct it. It had a plot, a record-breaking budget, iconic choreography, and special effects. It was so monumental it even had special theatrical screenings, fundamentally changing the perception of what a music video could be. But even before Thriller, Jackson had used videos to break down a massive wall. In the early 80s, MTV famously resisted playing videos by most black artists, arguing their music didn't fit the channel's rock format. But when CBS Records president Walter Yetnikoff threatened to pull all of his company's artists from the channel, MTV relented and put Michael Jackson's video for Billie Jean into heavy rotation. The video wasn't just a hit, it was a cultural landmark that helped shatter the channel's color barrier, paving the way for countless artists to follow. This legacy of visual storytelling is everywhere today. Artists like Lady Gaga built entire careers on avant-garde, cinematic videos, Childish Gambino's This Is America wasn't just a song, it was a viral visual essay. The modern music industry is fundamentally visual, driven by platforms like YouTube and TikTok. Every artist who treats their music video not as just promotion, but as a core artistic statement, is working from a blueprint drawn up by the king of pop. He proved that what you see is just as important as what you hear. 3. The Dancing Machine. On May 16, 1983, during the Motown 25 television special, Michael Jackson did something that seemed to defy gravity. For 6 seconds, he glided backwards as if pulled by an invisible string. He debuted the moonwalk. The audience erupted. The world was mesmerized. The move itself wasn't new. It had roots in the backslide, performed by street dancers and artists like Jeffrey Daniel. But the way Jackson executed it, with that impossible smoothness on a global stage, he didn't just perform the move, he immortalized it. Michael Jackson's dancing was a fusion of styles. The spins of James Brown, the footwork of Fred Astaire, the mime techniques of Marcel Marceau, all synthesized into something entirely new and electric. His body was an instrument, every kick, spin, and grab a punctuation mark. This vocabulary of movement became foundational for the modern pop performer. While not every top-tier star is a primary dancer, for the lane of the pop performer, a high level of dance became almost a prerequisite. When you watch Usher glide across the stage, you see Jackson's smoothness. When you see Chris Brown execute hard-hitting choreography, you see the influence of Bad and Smooth Criminal. And it's impossible to talk about modern group choreography without mentioning BTS. The group's synchronization, complex formations, and a style that often pays homage to Jackson's signature moves are a testament to his lasting impact on global dance culture. He set a bar for stage presence that artists are still striving to reach. 4. The Architect of Mystique. In an age of oversharing, the most powerful currency an artist can have is mystique. Michael Jackson was its master. It's easy to dismiss his eccentricities. Neverland Ranch, Bubbles the chimpanzee, the single glove, as just that. But it was also a brilliant, if perhaps partially unintentional, form of brand management. He rarely gave interviews, and his face was often hidden. This wasn't just shyness, it was a strategy. By controlling his public exposure, he made every appearance an event. The less he revealed, the more the public wanted to know. He created a vacuum that the media rushed to fill with rumors and myths, making him larger than life. This archetype is a go-to strategy for artists trying to cut through the noise. The Weeknd is a famous modern example. He first built his mystique by releasing classic mixtapes while remaining largely anonymous to the mainstream. Nobody knew what he looked like, but his haunting R&B spoke for itself, creating a massive buzz. By the time he revealed himself, he was already a star. Artists like Sia, who performs with her face obscured, or Daft Punk, who hid behind robot helmets, all used this blueprint. They understood what Michael knew instinctively. In the business of fame, what you conceal is just as powerful as what you reveal. By creating a character, you become more than an artist. You become an icon. So, what is the MJ blueprint? It's the architect, the total package pop star who is a singer, dancer, brand, and global CEO. It's the visual mastermind, the artist who treats the music video as a cinematic event to break barriers. It's the dancing machine, the performer whose movement sets a new standard for physical artistry. And it's the architect of mystique, the icon who understands that legend is built on what is both shown and withheld. From Bruno Mars's showmanship to Dua Lipa's disco pop visuals to The Weeknd's persona, the DNA of Michael Jackson's artistry is everywhere. The templates he created are still the most reliable tools for crafting a global superstar. Other artists have been called the new king of pop, but the title is irrelevant. The throne is empty because Michael Jackson didn't just occupy it, he deconstructed it and gave a piece of it to every artist who came after him. In interviews, The Weeknd, an artist who has studied Jackson deeply, has credited Off the Wall as the album that inspired him to sing and found his falsetto. He stated simply, "Michael, man, that guy was the star. He invented the star. There will never be another Michael." He was right. There won't be. But thanks to his blueprint, we see echoes of him everywhere. We don't just listen to his music. We live in the world he built. What part of the MJ blueprint do you see most in today's artists? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, you'll love my video on how Prince built his own empire in defiance of the industry. And for more stories of brilliant, flawed people and their work, subscribe.